I was a complete amateur. But the plan worked. My plan, not theirs. Cynthia. How could she be so gullible? And Harry, smug, overconfident Harry, so certain his plan was foolproof. Thought he had me figured out completely.
Harry Braxton?
Yes?
I'm Detective Hicklin. This is Detective Savino. We just came from the Strathmore residence. Perhaps we can come in for a moment? Speak more privately?
Sure. I hope everything's okay.
But let's go back further, to the point where my plan was set in motion.
He asked to borrow my gun.
When?
Last night. Stopped by, said he wanted to talk. Made up some story about an intruder.
He never told me.
Said he wanted to borrow my gun for protection, until he could get one of his own. You haven't had any type of intruders lately, have you, Cynthia?
As if Edward would ever have the backbone to shoot one. Or do anything else even slightly out of the ordinary.
Except what we have in mind for.
Do you really think he'll do it?
Well, for someone like Edward, I think it's the most logical step in the world.
It's funny how people change. How one's needs change. God, the way he compartmentalizes his feelings. The way he reorganizes all the damn tools in the garage. It drives me crazy. I still can't believe he'll go through with it. It's just so out of character. So upsetting to his routine.
That's where you're wrong. Suicide is the ultimate act of control.
Well, I've pulled away little by little, just like you told me to. He's been confused.
It's because he worships you.
Do you really think he still loves me?
There's a distance. I can't put my finger on it, but it's there. I don't know. Cynthia comes home, ignores me, disappears into the office with her laptop, great essays.
Well, relationships do change. It's inevitable.
Come to bed late. Sometimes never comes to bed at all.
So you and Mr. Strathmore are good friends, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for some time now?
We've been best friends since college.
And you moved up here into this neighborhood because of Mr. Strathmore, is that correct?
Oh, you might say that. Edward tipped me off to this house when the market was down.
Yeah. And you like living up here?
Of course. What's this about, Detective?
Yeah, up here where you can keep an eye on the Strathmore house?
I enjoy the view from here.
Cat and mouse. It's here that Harry starts to wonder, has something gone wrong?
He's right at the edge. Just needs something to push him over.
Something. Or someone.
It's time. It's time to tell him you're leaving. That you no longer love him and you never will again.
Do you think that now
Yeah. He's gonna beg you to give him another chance.
I'll stand firm? I'll tell him that life with him is unbearable.
It's gonna be the final turn of the screw.
His investments, the house, we'll both be rich, Harry.
You won't reconsider?
No.
You're throwing everything away. You realize that?
You don't know me anymore, Edward. Every moment of our life is planned, scheduled. I want more. I need more. I dread finding his body. That's the part I fear most.
Well, don't worry. He won't do it at home. It's too messy. He wouldn't want you to find him that way.
Edward's considerate to a fault. I'll give him that.
He'll probably rent a cheap motel room or drive to the beach. Something much more practical.
God, what if they figure out that we drove him to it?
Harry encourages Cynthia, explains that I'm at the brink of suicide. This isn't as far-fetched as it sounds, though, given my past behavior. Cynthia's not quite convinced.
Hello?
It's me.
I thought we agreed no contact.
He's behaving strangely.
How so?
For the last few days, he seemed so happy. He held my hand as we were walking down the street, and he kissed me right in front of the Levinsons. He has never been comfortable showing affection in public before. I've just never seen him like this. He's so at ease.
It's not unexpected.
I don't understand.
Harry explains to her that the end is near. He tells her you often see this behavior in suicides. She wants to believe him, even though she knows how implausible this scheme is.
Are you gonna feel guilty about what we've done?
I would, Cynthia, if Edward had a clue about enjoying life. But life has been wasted on Edward.
I just can't wait to see you. I can't wait until all of this is over.
Go about your daily routine. Don't call me again. Understood?
I love you, Harry.
You ever been in the Strathmore's bedroom?
Beg your pardon?
Well, it's a simple question. Have you spent much time in their bedroom?
Certainly not.
You'd remember if you had.
Absolutely. Clearly something's happened. For God's sakes, tell me what's going on.
The detectives tell Harry that I found Cynthia dying, and that she identified him as her killer.
He's lying. Edward shot her, don't you see that? She was going to leave him.
Now, how would you know that?
Edward told me. They had a miserable life.
Well, no. See, the neighbors we spoke to before we came here, the Levinsons, say they saw them kissing right in the middle of the street. They say Mr. Strathmore was quite passionate. You know, I'll tell you what. Why don't you tell us about your attraction to Mr. Strathmore? I mean, he told us about the feelings you've had for him since college, how it's interfered with your relationships with women, how you followed him out here, how you bought a house in the neighborhood that allowed you to see him nearly every day.
That's not true.
He said he maintained your friendship while doing everything possible to discourage you.
That's not true.
You said you'd never been in that bedroom.
Yes.
And you were very clear about that.
Yes, that's what I told you. Just as Edward knew I would.
Then the forensic team won't find any trace evidence suggesting otherwise.
I'd like a glass of water, if you don't mind.
I'll get it for you.
Tell me about your good friend, Mr. Strathmore. Huh? What is it that draws you so strongly to him?
Edward's very orderly. Very predictable. Before he makes a decision, he thinks through everything very carefully. Nothing's left to chance.
It's not the impulsive type like you.
No. Not the impulsive type. Like me. May I?
Sure.
When it comes to staging the perfect crime, I was just a gifted amateur.